The Flik Falcon is a 13mm elongated foam paddle with one of the strangest internal builds I've played so far, at least this year. Body Helix embedded 5 circular cork inserts between the foam core and the carbon face, one dead center, one up top, one down low, and one on each side. The goal was to extend dwell time and smooth out the response across the hitting zone. In practice, it creates a paddle that plays pretty well when you find those cork zones, and noticeably worse when you don't. When you flush a shot, the response is smooth and connected. Smooth is the key word here. The cork absorbs vibration and slows the ball down just enough to let you shape, spin, and load up drives with pace. This thing hits well above its 13mm thickness. Plow-through is strong, mainly due to how extremely head-heavy the paddle is stock, and baseline power is legitimately impressive for a 13mm foam build. Spin generation is excellent, thanks in part to, I think, the raw Toray carbon face and that cork-induced dwell. But the sweet spot is tight. Miss those cork zones by even an inch or two, and the paddle gets harsh, jarring, and inconsistent. The bigger issue is how head-heavy this thing is. Swing weight comes in at 118.6, which puts it in the 94th percentile. It's very heavy and very head-heavy, especially for a 13mm build. That front-loaded balance gives you serious power and pop on serves and tries, but it makes the soft game more demanding. Resets and blocks require more precision than most players are probably going to be comfortable with. And if your touch isn't dialed in, this paddle will expose that quickly. The twist weight sits at 6.05, so it's not particularly stable on off-center contact. Adding weight at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions helps, but it doesn't fundamentally change the character of this paddle. It reminds me somewhat of the Gearbox GX2 Power in terms of baseline capabilities, but the Falcon is less forgiving and harder to maneuver. The cork concept is innovative, and I respect the attempt to do something different with foam construction, but the execution feels uneven, both literally and figuratively. If you run your fingers over the surface of my paddle, you can feel the slight undulation or unevenness where the cork is placed. Now, does that affect play? I don't think so, but it's worth noting. At $190 retail, less with code MPB, you're paying in the mid-range for experimental tech that only works if you're consistently finding the center. For most players or those who struggle to dial in their touch and reset game, this paddle might feel a bit punishing. Now, if you like head-heavy paddles, crush from the baseline, and have the control to exploit that cork-driven center, the Falcon might click for you. So what do you think about cork inserts in foam paddles? Gimmick or game changer? Let me know in the comments.